In June 17th edition of the New York Times, David Brooks published an article called Beyond the Brain, in which he talked about the new trends in brain imaging and using these images to describe and predict human behavior. His purpose in writing the article was to inform the reader of these new trends and to offer a word of advice or to tell the reader to take caution when taking everything that they hear and see as absolute truth, and rather to take everything with a grain of salt. He intended to convey a message of caution and just general knowledge to the public regarding these new trends. I learned from the article that some behavior can be predicted by just using brain imaging. I also learned that some different behaviors activate the same area in the brain as one another, so brain imaging cannot always be taken as absolute and final when using them to predict behavior. If I was to further research this topic, I would look into the instances when brain imaging is useful and when it is not so useful, and when traditional psychological methods are useful and when they are not so useful. And I would expect to find that the brain imaging is useful when predicting behavior that results from the external environment, such as sweat, when a person sweats as a result of stress, or when the hairs on the back of your neck raise due to fear, things like that. However, I believe that the brain imaging would not be so useful when trying to predict behavior that is deeply rooted with emotion or other things like that. This article relates to this course in the sense that physiological psychology is sort of the middle ground between strictly brain imaging or traditional psychological methods. The scenario outlined in the beginning of Chapter 1 of the book came to mind when I read the article about the man that snapped and killed the girls that he picked up on the side of the road, and he was found not guilty in court due to physiological brain issues, so chemical issues, rather than he just killed these girls because he wanted to. It was an actual issue in his brain. It's also related to this course because the author talked about a group of people who are now subscribing to the school of thought where humans are nothing more than their nerves. They're nothing more than the chemical activities in their body. And that relates to the course because in Chapter 3 we just learned about the nervous system and how the chemicals and different parts of the nervous system and brain work.